got my laces tied. My trusty podcast by my side. If you wanna talk fun, it's the place to be. Yeah, it's the drop, D-R-O-P.
All right, we're here today with run culture editor for Believe in the Run, Alfredo Mejia. Alfredo, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Very happy to be here.
I know this is only the second time. I think this is only the second time we've actually talked. That wasn't through email because we first met at the Berlin Marathon weekend.
Yes.
And you had made it out to the Adidas Shakeout runner, Adidas, as Thomas and the rest of the European Union likes to say. And that was a pretty fun time. It was such nice weather, and there was a huge spread of Bavarian soft pretzels,
which I ate a lot.
You had to carb up, right?
Yeah, you probably haven't heard this, but I didn't run in the shakeout run. I just went to see everyone apply for a job.
I have no judgments if someone comes to a shakeout run and they don't want to run. As long as you're there, that's really all I care about. In fact, we could use less runners on the shakeout runs. The actual, when we take the picture, that's all that matters.
Exactly.
Be there for the picture.
Exactly.
The run, I don't care.
On my defense, it was my rest day. I was actually running the marathon that weekend, and I had planned a shakeout the next day because you did it on a Friday, and it was kind of tricky for me. So
right, yeah.
Still, I wanted to hang out. So,
but I will say that was the day that we also first ran in the Evo SL.
Yeah.
At least Thomas, mine was I think mine was big, so I didn't run in it. But Thomas and Megan, and we came back from that run, and they were like, "This shoe's amazing. This is gonna be an absolute like classic shoe." I was like, pump the brakes a little bit. This is.
I don't think even Adidas knew that it was going to be that big. I think they were expecting something else, and now they're sort of trying to figure it out along the way.
Yeah, I don't think so either, because now that shoe is really. I mean, it'll probably be the shoe of the year for 2025, and it's. I mean, it looks great too. As someone who is into run culture and design and everything else, I feel like you can appreciate the design of it as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think I posted this. I bought it because of the looks, because I was a Super Blast 2 guy. And I bought it because I thought it was looking cool, but then I started running, and then I don't really like wearing the shoes that I run with. So I was like, okay, this is going to I actually use it like pretty much every run. I would say.
Yeah, it's so good. Anyways, but so you're based in Berlin. You live there now.
Exactly. Yeah.
But you're from Mexico City.
Yes.
And so we had talked a little bit before this, and you came over. So you worked in New York City for a while, and then you got a job offer or applied for a job in Berlin, and ended up there so you've been there for the last 7 years. Is that correct?
Yeah, since 2018. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So you've pretty much you've been everywhere. You grew up in Mexico, lived in New York City, have been in Berlin. That's a pretty wide range of experiences.
I went to college in Houston, Texas, actually.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. You really experienced all of America.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And so you've been writing for us for the past 6 months or so.
Yeah, since November, I think, yeah.
And I have to give you a shout out so everyone knows Alfredo may or may not be my favorite contributor to Believe in the Run because he, as an editor, it's so refreshing to have when you submit your weekly roundup. So for those who don't know, you write a weekly culture column or just like an overview of something happening in the sport in run culture.
Yeah.
And then maybe that's a partnership or a collab or something. And then you'll do a monthly roundup that highlights everything cool that happened that month. And I got to tell you, when Alfredo submits his stuff, when you submit your stuff, It is in this nice Google Doc with like links to everything. The images are all in one place. I don't have to worry about, I just plug and play into the website. Don't have to worry about formatting or anything. Very minimal editing at all. And I appreciate that.
You do change some stuff, and I always read it. And I was like, oh yeah, makes sense.
Very minimal though.
Yeah.
Trust me, if you've seen if you've seen some of our other reviews and the changes from A to B, I promise you they're very minimal.
Yeah, the hardest part usually is trying to figure out the prices, because the price here is usually in euros, and then it's like how much it is in the US, and then
Right.
it's a little bit hard if something is not released or it just released. It just takes some time. But,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that's a tough one, especially now too, because the prices are changing all the time with the tariffs and other things going on. It's like we'll publish a review, or we'll even record a video review, and we'll say, "Oh, this shoe's coming, this next week for $150," and then by the time the video comes out, it's
They change it.
$160
Yeah.
or something else. Like I think the Streak Fly, I think there's still places selling the Streak Fly for $180, but it's a $190. It's $190 on Nike's website. So
That's why you need to
it's-
put the word around 160.
somewhere
Yeah,
between $100 and $300.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways, you're as a run culture editor, you're very into the, I would say, fashion / style / fringe segment of running. So this is like a lot of the stuff you cover is probably not stuff you're going to find at Fleet Feet or your local running store, depending what it is. Maybe like if we're talking about Renegade Running or
Yeah.
the Loop or something, maybe. But
True.
a lot of the partnerships and collabs you're into is kind of outside that box. How did you get into that in general, or what's your background with design or fashion?
With the culture, I have like
Or, like,
I mean,
yeah. How'd you get
Yeah.
interested in it?
it's funny because I think on my bio on the site it says I'm really into uniforms, and it's true. Like when I was a kid growing in Mexico, I would play soccer, and I was obsessed. At the time, it was not easy to find jerseys in stores, right? So I will
Right.
look at cards and just look at the uniforms and be like, oh, this uniform is different from the one in the other card. And I always like sports, basketball and everything. So eventually it was evolving. And the same thing happened. Eventually I got into fashion magazines and got access. I have a background in advertising. So I did a lot of creative direction, design. So I went to college to do the same thing. So I think it always sort of like been into that side of uniform fashion. I never really wanted to do clothes. I was more interested into knowing. I also don't buy a lot. So
Yeah.
I think that sort of evolved eventually. So when I started running, I first kind of didn't want it to go full in. I mean, when I started running properly, I did know Satisfy and I did know Bandit and all those brands, but I know myself, and I was like, until you really enjoy running, you won't spend that much money. So I went to Decathlon and I bought all my clothes in Decathlon. I was wearing shoes that someone gave to me. But then when I crossed that line of like, okay, I feel good, I'm training for a race, there was no way back.
Interesting. So you had to be authentic about it.
Yeah. Because, it's also like, I don't want to be wearing like a Satisfy shirt and
Yeah.
it was, I mean, you can, right? It's okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
But at the time, I didn't feel like I was going to enjoy it for a long time because I had already tried. I think I told you this before. I tried at different times in my life to run, but didn't enjoy it. So that time I was like, I want to really see if I like it.
Yeah.
And I think it's that moment. Everyone remembers that moment. Like I remember perfectly the moment it clicked and I felt like, oh, wow, this is how it feels to really enjoy it. And then, no way back from there.
And so when did you first notice other brands outside of, like when did you notice that running was becoming cool, or that there was this alternative side to it, because a lot of people that come into the sport, I think, don't know that at first. It's just Nike, Adidas, New Balance, whatever, and then once they start getting into it more, and you know what it's like when you first start running, you get addicted to it, and you're like consuming all things running, and then you find out that there's these other brands. So how did that happen for you?
I think, I mean, the first time I noticed, and I think I come from more like the sneaker world, right? And for me, the first time I wanted to run was when the Flyknit Racer came out. And for me, that was the first time I realized running was cool. And that was like 20 years ago or something. And then Nike Lab at the time was something very cool. And I was, and then Nike had this Gyakuso line, which I think was the best thing. And it's probably the worst mistake they have done in running history, just to kill that whole thing, because this is a moment where this wasn't selling that much at the time, but now it will be selling like crazy, right?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, they were way ahead of it. Yeah.
They was way ahead. I mean, they were getting together with like a fashion designer from Japan. There was like a cult designer, like all those things that are happening now, they did it in 2010.
Yeah.
So even from then, I sort of was always looking into this side of running. But I remember when I started running properly, it was also the first time I saw Satisfy. And I was talking with Tommy about it like last week. They did
Right,
a
because you were at Paris Fashion Week last week, which we'll get into. We'll talk about some of the stuff you saw last week at Paris. But anyways, you were talking with Tommy from Satisfy
about the time when Satisfy did a collab with Sonic Youth. That was the moment when I sort of saw them and I was like, who are these guys? And then while Googling, I found Tracksmith and Bandit, sort of like those. I think what Bandit was not. Maybe District Vision, Tracksmith, Satisfy were among the first. But that Sonic Youth collaboration really clicked in my head, and I was like, who does this, right? Like, and that's how I started to sort of discover, and eventually when I started getting more into the rest, I was more obsessed.
I mean, and it is mind-blowing how far and how fast the running apparel fashion culture side has blown up over the last 2 years. Because like you were saying, I've been at Believe in the Run for almost 7 years, and back then, it was Tracksmith, District Vision, Satisfy, and then you had like CLA and John G and stuff like that. And CLA has always done cool stuff, but that they just mostly made headwear at that time. And John G was cool, but more, I don't know if it was fashion. It was just almost granola. I don't know, like outdoor type granola vibes / I don't know. It was hard to pin down, but I wouldn't say it was more that elevated fashion. It was just interesting and creative designs for sure, which I really like. I really liked it, and still do. But aside from that was
it.
For a while there, that was it, and then stuff started popping up slowly a little bit. You had Bandit, and now
everyone. It's just like, I think back in the day, people used to have like, everyone will have like a T-shirt brand, right? It's like, oh yeah, I started a streetwear brand. Now they start running brands instead of streetwear brands.
Right. Yeah. No. Exactly. And it seems like every week there's 5 new running brands. I can't even keep up with it all, which is why I have you doing it.
Even for me, it's really hard because you see a new brand, it's like you have to look and be like, are they gonna make it? It's like my biggest worry is like, do they have something different? Do they have something not in terms of like apparel, but like the vibe around the brand has to have something or to be for something like that we don't have, right?
Because I think that is one of the traps that, you could get away with that 5 years ago, just coming out of nowhere and doing whatever. But now there's with so many brands, there's so much overlap because you can only do, I mean, shorts, shirt. It's running apparel. It's supposed to be running apparel at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And you can only do so much with it before you're, especially for a startup company, you really have to focus on just a couple key pieces.
Yeah, exactly.
Whereas you can't go into it all in like what Satisfy does with, especially with some of the newer stuff coming out, or even the Nike, crop or whole, whatever you call it, air mesh that came out at the Western states.
Yeah.
Like a startup brand, it's going to be hard to come out with that because it's a very interesting piece that's not going to sell a lot. Like you have to have some standard core pieces.
Yeah.
And it's hard to separate yourself when you're just coming out with standard core pieces.
And it's also really hard to like the sizing for people. People are really hesitant to buy something that it's not at a good price and might not fit. Like running clothing, it's always all over the place. Sometimes I'm a small, extra small. Sometimes I'm like medium.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very difficult to start. But I think, definitely it's been an explosion lately.
Yeah. The especially with when you're starting out, you basically just do men's apparel because it's the sizes are standard. There's not much to mess with, and the cuts and the lines are pretty much just straightforward.
Yeah.
Whereas when you have women's apparel, there's a lot more stuff to be considered. So, which is why Satisfy has never had women's apparel until now. There's brands like Path Projects here in the U.S. that are men's only. I know even for a while, I think Say Sky was mostly men's and and maybe even Soar. I can't remember. So that's like a huge hurdle as well because you either have to go all in on women and just be almost like a women's only brand, or if you're bootstrapping it with limited funds, you almost have to just cater to a male audience. So that's another hurdle, I would say.
Yeah, and you have to have a vibe, right? Like nowadays, like you say, there's too many brands that maybe look the same. So I think the best chance a brand has is to have a vibe, right? Like, is it like for this type of people? Because I think that's why the explosion happened, right? At the end of the day, running became more inclusive in the, in the case of like not only people, but also paces or, it's, you see people like all types. And I think that allowed for other people to come in and also people that want something different to wear, right? Like, for me, Nike apparel was never fitting right. It's not that I didn't like it. It was always too big or it felt strange. So you want people that has a very specific taste or a specific thing, and that they are the ones that buy the thing, right? Like Bandit is for a specific type of people. Una is for a specific type of people. Soar even is for someone. So I think that's what sort of like opening the gates for all these new brands.
So something that comes up a lot when we post about apparel brands or do stories or, even wear them is the price point.
Yeah.
So a lot of people, especially average everyday runners, they say, oh, I could buy Champion Tech Tee at Target for $25 or go to the New Balance outlet and get a pair of shorts for $15. How would you best justify the pricing on some brands, especially, obviously we have Satisfy, which is top tier, pretty much top tier.
Yeah.
But then you even have, but I would say most of the running brands we're talking about are in that range, 75 to 130 range for a piece of apparel, whether it's shorts or a singlet or whatever. And then you have those even higher ones like Soar or Satisfy. So can you, for those listening who might think this is all bullshit, they're just charging money to charge money, which may be true in some cases. I think it is. What's your best way to justify that?
I will say first that sometimes there are cases where there's no way to justify it. But if you think about it, that we're talking a lot about independent brands, right? So they're owned by one person, three people. The teams are always small. Like that, of course, it's harder for them to source products. Like some of these pieces are made in Portugal, some of these pieces are made locally. So all those costs actually end up in the product, right? Of
Yeah.
course, you can buy a Champion tee, but Champion makes thousands and they know they're going to get a profit. So I think the main difference is that you are buying from an independent brand, right? Not all of them are independent. I mean, Bandit has
Right. They have venture
funds.
capital
Yeah.
backing.
I mean, it's like a startup right now.
Well, even Satisfy now is owned by same thing.
Yeah, they have
Or
they
has,
have. But if you see, they're now starting to have like a wider range of apparel, and I think they already set up at a specific price point where I mean, they want to be compared with brands in that level, right? Even when you read, it says like design in Paris, and have that play of I don't want to say
Right.
luxury because it is even more expensive brands, but I think you have to count that it's between the cost of a product and the sort of like value of the brand that the brand wants to have for people wearing it. At the end of the day, it has to work, right? I mean, a lot of people do complain about Satisfy and things like that, but if I bought like Rippy Rippy shorts 4 years ago, and I still wear them. So
right.
at the end of the day, if the things work, even though they're a little more expensive, it makes sense. Also, if you're going to buy it, right?
I'm totally with you. And I can't tell you how many cheap shirts I've bought in the past that end up, they take on the worst smells. They wear out quickly. The fit's bad, so you don't even want to wear them. So it's like, maybe you do, but it's not that much an enjoyable experience to run in them. And by the same token, and look, I'm not justifying anything here, but I will say, like, I'm wearing the Satisfy Cloud Merino t-shirt right now. It's ridiculously comfortable. It's absurd how comfortable it is. It's so light, and it's 100% merino wool. It's so light and thin. It's a perfect summertime t-shirt. But you can also wear it just like I'm wearing it. You can run in it too. I wouldn't run in it probably over 60 degrees, but and then the long sleeve, I have one of their long sleeves as well. It's the softest, most comfortable shirt I've ever owned in my entire life. I think it's almost justified the price tag that's on it just for the comfort level.
Yeah, I think the premise of this is the reason why there's more brands is because they cater to more people, right? So just because Satisfy has a t-shirt with holes, you don't need to buy it. Maybe for you, something from a different brand works better for you, right?
Right.
So that's the thing. It's like now there are things for everyone.
Well, that's what I sometimes bothers me, is that people get so angry at Satisfy, especially the Moth Tech, for having holes in it. It's $120, but like, you don't have to buy it. Like, you really like. It's just they found people who want to buy it, and they can buy it, and it's like
they're always asking, what's the benefit? And I'm like, none.
I
have to tell you a story. I went to Mexico this past, I think, in March, and then I was talking with my grandma. She was inside her house, and I was outside, and I was just talking to her through the window, and then she looked at me kind of sad, and I was wearing a Satisfy t-shirt, and she was like, "Oh, dear, your t-shirt has holes in it." And I told her, and you know what's crazier? I pay for it. It came like that, and it was very expensive. She was like, "Oh no," so she was really worried about my shirt. But yeah, people are like, "What's the benefit?" There's no benefit. I mean, if you feel, I think the benefit is this.
I think it actually does work to an extent. I don't think it's enough to really matter, but I mean, by definition of having a ton of holes in it, it's going to be a little bit cooler than a normal t-shirt.
Yeah, of course. So. And it's not the same cotton as if you're wearing like a heavy cotton t-shirt. I mean, it's a different type of cotton.
It's super comfortable, yeah.
Yeah, but I think the benefit is you feel a certain way, right? You're supposed to buy something that whenever it's like the same as shoes. If you put certain shoes, you feel a certain way, and that's
Yeah.
gonna inspires you to go out and run, right? So that's the
Right.
same thing. Is that you put something on that makes you feel good, that makes you feel like at least maybe not fast, but you look good while running. So as long as it does that trick and also works in terms of performance, then
Yeah.
that's the only thing.
Okay, so of course, Satisfy is one of the one that catches a lot of heat. Now you were just there in Paris Fashion Week. You were in Paris for Paris Fashion Week last week, which I was like, didn't this just happen? Because I didn't realize there are 4 Paris Fashion Weeks per year. I think the
Yeah.
summer and the winter ones are the biggest.
Yeah, I mean, there's always a fashion week happening somewhere in the world at some point. I think right now it's
Yeah.
in Berlin. I just realized because I
It's
saw
basically
it
like
on
a
Instagram.
marathon.
Exactly. So you have your
Yeah.
majors, and one of the
Right.
majors is Paris. It's probably the biggest major. I would say it's the Boston of fashion.
Right. Of Fashion Weeks.
So yeah, I think January and June it's whenever there's the most activity. And to be honest, I didn't. When I was in January over there, I remember someone told me they were coming back for June, and they say, "Are you gonna be back in June?" And I say, "No." I wasn't expecting it to be big again. I think I sent you a message. I was like, I don't know if I'll do an article. I don't think there's gonna be that many
Right.
brands.
Right. Yeah.
No time to see everything. Like
Really?
totally miscalculated my time.
Wow. So, okay, well, let's get a rundown of what you saw there. And then later in the episode, I want to ask you what your favorite things are right now. And yeah, maybe, and then we'll talk about some other stuff. But so
Cool.
you got back from Paris a couple days ago?
Yes.
Yesterday?
Last week. No, last week I think. Yeah.
Okay.
Friday, I think. Yeah.
Oh, right. Yeah. So what did, well, might as well start with Satisfy because you went to Satisfy. Did you go to was it at their headquarters?
Yeah, they changed it
did-
this time because in January it was like their office, and it was for me kind of seemed like inside their office they had like a showroom. But this time, it was one of those places where you have to go into a door and then in the back
Oh, okay.
building. But this time they sort of I don't know if they rented like or they bought it. I don't know a space at the front of the building, so it felt
Oh,
more
okay.
like a showroom store in a
That's
way.
cool. Okay.
So yeah, they know how to do
So
it.
the most interesting thing to me that I saw from your photos was the women's apparel coming in spring 2026, which is
Yeah.
has Speed Lace, I think is the name. And
Is
that
yeah,
right?
yeah. I think
I think it was
I don't
Speed
remember.
Lace.
It's Space
think it
Lace.
was.
I think it was Space Lace.
oh, Space Lace,
Yeah,
not
yeah.
Speed Lace. So, I'm thinking Solomon Speed Laces. Yeah, the Space Lace was pretty wild. I mean, you talk about something you don't see in running. That was
Yeah.
crazy looking.
I was very surprised, and I'm actually writing down the sort of like a little bit of a recap for this, and I
Okay,
put it
cool.
in there that I was not expecting anything. Probably that's why I was more surprised because I saw in January a lot of things, and some of them haven't come out yet. So I was not sure if I was going to see the same. But when I arrived, it was way better than in January. Like every single
wow.
thing that they show me, I was like, I need this. And the first thing was they first showed me the women's apparel, but then the lace actually is unisex. So there's like different types. So it's like a more loose shirt. There's like I think a crop one, but it's actually
wow, okay.
unisex. And I would totally wear it. Like it looks in the photos, it looks like real lace, but it's made with the Oralite fabric.
Oh, really?
So it's like extremely thin.
Dude, I would be so scared that my wife would end up throwing that in the laundry. I'd be like,
But
I had a feeling.
It doesn't feel that delicate though. It's really crazy.
Really?
Like it's like yeah, I could run with this, and it will probably look cool. I will say maybe I will
No,
not
I
wear
think-
I will not wear the black. The black is too sexy for me. So I will wear like a brown or something.
Unless you're
like,
going to Berkheim.
Yeah,
for
yeah.
I think it's going to be a hit. It looks like totally different from anything in the running scene right now. And then of course they had some some other apparel that they had that they integrated some of
Yeah,
that into, and
they
some
they,
other.
they, they
What was
made
the
like
other?
the you know how the Space O shorts, they did like a
Yeah,
pant
right.
that feels like a like pajamas or something.
Yeah.
That's really cool. They did like camo, like they were
Oh
saying they're
yeah.
real
I
tree
love.
camo.
It's like I think I called it cowboy camo because it looks kind of like, to me, anyways, it seemed like more of like cattle type camo that you would see
Yeah,
out on the range. But I mean, one of my favorite things ever is Brees, the owner of Satisfy, founder of Satisfy, his obsession with Americana
yeah,
culture. It's like
yeah.
I love. Did you when you were there? Did you see inside his cabinets of the the RC truck collection?
No, actually, when I was
Oh,
there, he was arriving. But yeah, I
okay.
seen that he's very into it.
So obviously the new shoe that they're coming out with next month, the trail shoe, is it has taken a lot of inspiration from remote control monster trucks
Yeah,
and RC vehicles, and so there's metal cabinets in their offices, like in his office, that if you would think there'd be clothing samples. No, it's just RC cars. It's just the whole thing. It's just a shit ton of RC cars. It's absolutely incredible.
and cowboy
Which
hats.
I agree. Yeah, and cowboy hats. Which I grew up with the RC cars. My grandpa wore bolo ties to every formal event
Yeah,
in in his life. So yeah, I like he owned everything in the Marlboro Miles catalog. So I have a deep appreciation for that kind of
yeah.
vibe, and I
And
love that
that's the
he.
thing, right? Is like a lot of people think Satisfy is the Satisfy from 3 years ago, which was all black. And it's like, no, man, they're like over in the ranch, wearing boots and jeans. So they're
I
like in a different state now.
Yeah. The other thing, the peace shell, the river shirt, dude, that shirt is like, again, talking about one of my favorite shirts of all time. It's so good. And that's why you could just tell that they put a lot of thought and intention into what they do, even though it's different and looks different. And you think this is ridiculous. Why would anyone need to do this on a trail? Dude, put some ice in that back pocket on the river shirt when you're
Yeah.
when it's hot out. You'll be thanking them.
Yeah,
It's so
yeah. I
nice.
think I think that's their new greatest hit. Because I also have one and I love it. And even when I wear it, people is like, "Where did you get that shirt?" And I was like, "Oh, this is
Yeah,
satisfying."
totally.
Now they did one with like they laser cuts like these patterns, like
It
the
looks like an old Western wear shirt.
yeah. They're going like even more.
Yeah, but before you know it, next year they're gonna have pearl
Yeah,
snap buttons
yeah.
on the shirt. But yeah, so that was a good one. What else did you see at Paris Fashion Week?
I also saw one of the craziest things that I saw, and it's probably gonna go a little bit out of this, is Puma. They released a shoe, like a collaboration with this guy, Saleh Benbury. He did a basketball shoe, and he has done things for Crocs and
Okay.
Versace. Like he's huge, right? And I actually emailed everyone at Puma because I saw him posting photos on Instagram, and I was like, "When is this happening?" Um, and the thing is, like, I didn't know if it was a running shoe or not because it kind of looked like a running shoe, but never said it was a running shoe. So I went, and it's a really cool shoe, but it has nitro foam, like a running shoe. It has a little hole where you could see the plate, but it doesn't have a plate. It's just painted. So it's
Okay.
like it's a lifestyle shoe made to look like a running shoe, which is
Interesting.
really crazy. And I was
That's
like,
so wild. Is that because like are we now making fashion shoes to look like running shoes?
that's
Where
the
we're
thing. I
at.
think now it's going backwards, right? They're doing running shoes
Yeah.
that look like lifestyle, and they're doing lifestyle that look like running. So it just
Right.
and it's kind of cool. It's kind of cool, the shoe, but it just seemed very interesting to me. And everyone, I kept asking everyone. This was like a sort of like a pop up thingy, and I kept asking the people that work there, not from Puma. They were just like people working.
Uh huh.
I was telling them, "Is this a running shoe?" And they're like, "Yes, of course, you can run in them." And I'm like, I don't
That's
know.
like, yeah, you could run in them. You can.
Yeah.
I could also run in Timberlands, but
Yeah, exactly,
I'm
exactly.
not gonna do it.
But that was interesting to me. You seen the space was very well thought of, and yeah, you seem very strange. But I
Okay,
also
cool.
saw Norda, for example. They have the slides. They had some of the colorways for next year, like some new
Okay.
colors for the um, uh,
Where
05.
Nick, where Nick was Nick there? Like the owners of Norda?
No,
Were they
I
or
only
is it?
saw no, I only saw Julie.
Okay. Yeah.
They had the slides, which I think everyone. Have you tried the
Yeah.
slides?
I haven't. I think that we're supposed to be getting them soon.
Yeah, I
I
got them. I got them, and they're like really good, really
Yeah, I
good.
mean, it has
Yeah,
a Vibram outsole. It's pretty awesome.
yeah. I think that's enough to
Yeah,
love them.
nice.
What else did I saw? I saw this guy. I think Alex Sono from Cape Town, the guy that
Yeah,
makes the hats.
yeah,
He's doing like a. I mean, that guy is amazing and crazy. It's things that I will probably I appreciate and I
yeah,
love. But like I said, it's probably not for me. First, I don't really like wearing hats that much
yeah. We're
because my
opposites.
yeah, but my head starts hurting also, so that's
Okay.
why. But yeah, he made like a running jacket that is actually like a waxed cotton jacket.
Oh wow. Yeah.
So, but it's very light, so it's very strange.
Huh.
So that
I
was
like it.
interesting. Yeah, it's I'll you'll see the photos. I also saw Brooks. They were doing some new. They did a collaboration with a store called RSVP
Okay.
and with the Caldera 8. I think it's
Oh yeah. Nice.
yeah, they did it like in brown. And the guy RSVP is like a very famous sort of fashion store. One of the owners is the creative director of the Chicago Bulls, so it's
Oh
someone that
yeah.
has a lot of
Nice.
weight in the fashion world, and they did a really good job. I actually really like the shoe.
I gotta
What else?
say, Brooks has been cranking out some nice, like legacy shoe
Yeah,
collaborations. They've
they,
been really
very
doing a
smart
great
from
job.
them. Very smart from
Yeah.
them. I think the fact that they wanted to do that, they did it correctly. Of like, let's look into the archive. They asked this guy Jeff Staple to help them. And like, hey, take a look. Tell us. I think he's the one sort of like behind the curtain guiding them of like, do this with this person. I think he's
Okay.
gonna start getting more into actual
Well,
not running
what
stuff. So I think
when
it's
they
it's a
did the first Staples shoe, that was an Adrenaline, right?
yeah. I think it was the Adrenaline X
Did they?
10.
Do I remember you writing about this that he approached them or
Yeah. He
which
said
is
that he was running
he
in
had to convince
Brooks.
them.
Yeah. He was running in
Yeah.
Brooks, and then he said sort of like, "Hey, let's do something," and they said, "Yeah," and then he kind of showed up and like, I kind of know, you know,
I mean, it's
what.
crazy that they had that archive of shoes that they were just sitting on with no intent to really do anything with them, as all these other like the Vomero 9 or
Yeah,
whatever and all these other shoes are making,
yeah,
huge comebacks, and they were kind of sitting there not even considering doing
yeah.
anything with it.
But I think it's something that other brands need to do, right? Like, I think this is the
Oh,
thing.
yeah.
The fact that he has sort of like a different vision of what colorways might be interesting.
Right.
That's enough to have someone on board sort of guiding them of like, yeah, just keep doing this thing. But on the other side, you can also do maybe like a toned down brown and pink shoe and it's going to work, right?
Yeah.
So I think they're doing something very interesting. They also released like the Cascadia. I think we posted about it. That one also looks amazing. And I think it's all
Yeah.
because of this sort of push into lifestyle. I think I've seen a couple of like interesting people wearing them. I'm like, okay, it's going the right direction. I think
Yeah.
it's gonna take a little bit of time, but I think they're doing it good.
So, who do you feel in footwear, from a fashion side or collabs or partnerships? Who do you think is doing? Who do you think is doing the best right now, or who's the hottest right now?
In footwear, I don't know. There's always like a hit and miss, right? Like some brands do it properly one time and then they screw it
Yeah.
up the next one. Um, but I will say a brand that I think it's because I think more about the thought behind it, right? So I think
Mm-hmm.
Hoka, for example, they're being very smart of who do they collaborate with. So they
Mm-hmm.
had this girl, Nicole. Remember
No,
the
Nicole
one that,
McLaughlin.
yeah,
Nicole McLaughlin.
they
Yeah.
pick her. They of course it's Satisfy. They also have done stuff with Comme des Garçons, which is like a label from Japan.
Mm-hmm.
They
Yep.
did a collaboration with Marnie, and I think the way they're doing it is like very subtle, and they're doing and they're also learning from that. You can see that they do a collaboration, they see what works, and then they take it, and then they
Right.
make it more like into their
Well,
regular
especially
lifestyle.
for Hoka, that doesn't have a huge archive to to lean back on.
Yeah,
They're more of a newer brand in the last 15 years or so. So I think they have done a good job, especially with some of their trail models,
yeah.
doing some pretty cool stuff with that.
Because what they're doing is like experimenting, right? And that's what that
Mm-hmm.
collaboration should be. Should be you bring someone to rethink what you're doing, and
Yeah.
sometimes it can be wacky. Other times actually works, and I think they're sort of putting. I mean, if you go to the Hoka website, it's not like a fashion website; it's still Hoka.
Right. Right.
But if you dig in that's what I do sometimes. I'm like, okay, I like this shoe. I'm gonna look something similar in this similar color. So if you
Uh-huh.
dig in the website, you'll find cool stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. I think they're doing a pretty great job. Like I said, Brooks, I think, has done some cool stuff. Um, interestingly, one of the brands that I don't feel like Adidas, I just feel like there's not much there. They have their icons like the Samba and even the Evo SL, which I think will be an icon and already kind of is for just
Yeah.
casual wear or running footwear. But I don't feel like I see too much from them that I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool and interesting.
Yeah, I think the fact that they have like the whole originals line, that's sort of like where they're focused in the collaborations.
Yeah,
I think it's like a
right.
big brand. But for example, I think we were talking about this. They were not expecting the Evo SL to be that popular, so I think
Yeah,
they didn't plan too much to do with it. And now that they're seeing like even people is like customizing the shoe and how it's really working, and it's like a blank canvas literally.
yeah.
They
Dude,
probably
the people dyeing the shoes.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh, and I know they had like a thing. Where was the pop? Didn't they have a pop up for that? Like
yeah. It was
in
here.
Berlin.
It was here in Berlin. It was actually very close to my place.
Yeah.
Um,
But I've seen people just buying dye kits and doing their own designs and stuff, and they look so good. Like, I've seen some really cool. Someone posted one to I think the Running Fashion subreddit last week. Did you see that one? It was like a purple dyed version. Oh my
yeah, yeah,
gosh,
yeah,
dude.
yeah,
It
yeah.
was so good. Like,
But what I know, for example, is that now they actually planning collaborations, proper collaborations. One of the things that I saw that we cannot show photos is Hermanos Kumori from Mexico. They just released a
right.
collaboration with them, which is
That's right.
sort of
That
like
did just come out.
the
Yeah.
first running collaboration. And I think what I know is that originally it was going to be one shoe, but they were just proposing stuff. And at the end, the different regions started like, okay, I like it, I like it, I like it. So
Okay.
they're gonna have more collaborations, and one of them it's an Evo SL.
Okay.
So they had it
Very cool.
in Paris, but they were like, don't.
No pictures. Yeah.
Yeah, there was a lot of that.
Yeah.
There was a lot of things that I saw that I can hint at it,
Yeah.
but I cannot show proper photos. Like this brand Una, I think we wrote about it. They're also
Yep.
doing their first shoe collaboration. They had it there. Um, Also, something that surprised me, I went to Past Normal Studios, the cycling
Yep.
brand. They're doing like a running capsule collection, and within that running collection, they doing a collaboration with a brand that includes a vest and a shoe.
Oh, okay. Wow.
So
Interesting.
yeah, I think
That's cool.
Yeah, but going back to Adidas, I think they will have more SL collaborations coming
Yeah.
soon.
I would imagine that would be the case. And then, yeah, and I'm trying to think who else. I don't know. But yeah, there's I think we'll obviously see more and more of that. I got to ask you a question though, because we're seeing all these collabs. Which, by the way, for one other thing I wanted to say is one recent one that I was just, I just like when we were talking about stuff that isn't worth the price.
Yeah.
Like we're talking about, there's some things that are just overpriced to be overpriced.
I know what you want to say, I think, but go on.
Is it On?
Yeah.
Yeah, On and Louis that's right?
Loewe, yeah.
Loewe.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, this is why I'm not the run culture editor.
Which is
was
actually,
like-
I have a fact about it. Like, I think the Loewe, it's supposed to be originally German. So in theory, the OE should be like Lou. So in theory, the real proper pronunciation should be Loewe. But I think, it became a Spanish brand and it's probably just Loewe now. But
Okay.
I know you were going to say that. And I think that's the one. If you ask me the opposite side of who's not doing it properly, I would say with a lot of pain in my heart, it's On. Because they have the right people. I mean, every time they announce like someone, it's like, yeah, the school's it's amazing, right? They announce this woman called Twix. She's like a singer, songwriter.
Right.
2 years ago, it took them forever to do something, and they announced they have Loewe, which is they had it for like years now. They had it like for 4 years or something, and it's like the biggest brand, and it's super fun. And when they do a collaboration with them, they're just putting a logo. The last collaboration, the latest, it's one that I really like because it sort of, for me, it started to look cohesive. Like they actually thought about it, not just putting a logo, but like creating a collection. But it was insanely priced. And then it's like, okay, it could be insanely priced. But then they didn't do anything. Like they didn't do like a special thing. They didn't give it like a world to live in.
Right.
And it just became this thing that I was like, I'm not paying. It was like 600 for like the shoes or something like that. It was just insane.
We're talking about the On. Well, I think it was the Cloud Surfer.
Yeah. That's the other thing is like they don't change anything about it. It's still like an On jacket. It's still an On jacket. It's just a specific color.
That's the thing. That's the thing that drove me crazy was that it was the exact. I'm pretty positive it wasn't the Cloud Surfer. It was the. No, it's gonna drive me crazy, so I have to look it up.
It's I don't remember.
Cloud Venture, I think.
Yeah.
Cloud Venture, and there wasn't anything new to it other than I think they just had the Loewe logo on the medial side or the lateral side on one shoe, and then the medial side on the other.
Yeah.
And there might have been a slight design change to the upper. Okay,
but not much. Like, for example, for me, the apparel, the jackets, I love the colors, like it was blue and this bright green.
Right.
And I was thinking, like, I would love to have that jacket. But still, at the end, it's just an On jacket in a nice color.
Right, that's the thing.
So I think that's when it's not justified. I will say that's when it's not justified. And they just they have really, really good people collaborating, but I think they're not exploiting that in proper way.
And I will give credit to Satisfy when they do collabs. There might be a tiny tick above the price, but like the Hoka Mafate, the Hoka Satisfy Mafate Speed, that was like pretty much the same price. It might have been $10 or $20 more. Even the Rocker is coming in at the same price point as the Norda 001. Which is even another shoe that we didn't even talk about. I know you're a fan of the 001, and I think Norda's overall kind of aesthetic and business model. I'm a big fan.
Are we gonna comment about the previous guest who said he will wear a pair of Nordas just because they're expensive and not because they were cool?
It's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. And I will say this also in the defense, in my defense. I think sneakerheads, they have a different type of people. Mm-hmm. They have their own rules that they make up. They buy always the same Jordan over and over again. It's like the Stacy Malibu. It's just like, oh, there's this new blue line. because
Right.
the time Michael Jordan drank blue Gatorade, and they're like, oh, shoe of the year, shoe of the year.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Norda for me, it's one of the coolest shoes around. Like, for me, it's a little bit hard to do trail running because it's a bit far, so I don't do it that much. So I just wear my Nordas every day, and yeah,
But you
it's
can
fine.
wear. That's the thing. You can also wear the 001 and the 005 for pretty much anything.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think they're one of the brands that is doing it just right in pretty much everything they do. Their
and
branding is on.
I think this should be called like a gossip show where I'm just tell gossip about it. So one of the things about Norda is that apparently they have like a interesting big collaboration coming next year. So they really, it was very difficult to try to get something from them. I was just trying all the tactics.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's gonna be something interesting from them.
That's awesome. Cool. Yeah. I think, and they've done some. They've also done a Satisfy collaboration, which actually was probably one of their misses because that for both brands because that there's production qualities with that first round of Satisfy shoes, where the overlay, the glue that was, it was a cosmetic issue, it wasn't a structural issue,
Yeah.
but the tape around the toe box and the size was coming off. I mean, I have a pair that it was.
But it was also
delayed.
it was also the first collaboration from Satisfy. I think it was the first shoe, maybe, right?
I think so. But Norda, if anybody had that problem, they sent them a brand new pair of shoes, no questions asked. And it was only a cosmetic issue, so it didn't really matter. But if you're paying that much, you still want
Yeah,
a good
yeah,
product.
makes sense.
But yeah, so we talked about the the on $550.
Yeah, but I'm
Cloud
really
Venture.
hoping they get better because I love. I really like the apparel a lot. Like, I think they do
they
really,
actually-
really cool stuff.
The on apparel is surprisingly really well done.
Yeah. And
Not-
for
I don't know
example,
if it's surprising, but
they have this collaboration with a studio from Munich that it's the studio that pretty much made soccer jerseys cool again. Like they were
Okay.
doing the jerseys for Kappa and they redid
Oh,
the
yeah.
branding for Milan and they have a collaboration with them. It dropped. It sold out, of course, but no noise about it. So they're not creating. I think they're doing a lot of like Nike moves of like they're more interested into having celebrities and Super Bowl ads
Yeah.
rather than pushing the culture that they do have the
Yeah.
people and the money to do it. But hopefully they will do better. I'm crossing my fingers.
yeah. Let's hope so. No, I think they do a good job with a lot of things. So we'll see. All right. So what do you think? This is the other question I want to ask you. Is run culture and run fashion, are we at its peak? Because this has been a topic of conversation I've seen some Substack writers talking about it. I think Cole from Running Supply and other people. I think in general, there's been a conversation of has run culture, have run crews, has this whole thing. Is it at its peak of the bubble?
I would say we are saturated at the moment. Yeah, I think we have enough brands and enough product, but I think it's gonna shift a little bit, right? You'll see it like 2 years ago, everything was black. Everyone wanted to be black, and now then you see everyone wanted to be brown and green, right? In terms of like trends, I would say.
Yeah.
And what I saw this time is that everything is going to become more purple and blue, right? So you see the brands exploring new things, and you see brands that are going to grow and going to continue, and brands that are going to sort of like die along the way.
But blue was also a color last year, which I was
But this is
hoping
more
would-
like a light blue. This is more like a light blue, like
okay.
a baby blue.
I can get behind that. The
Yeah,
royal blue I was done with.
yeah. I saw like probably 80% of the collections having light blue or light
interesting. Okay.
purple.
Yeah.
But I think I think it's just gonna change, right?
Yeah.
I think there's still more opportunities to do different ways to do it, and what's gonna happen is that the people that came in for not the right reason, they're gonna go away, and maybe it will shrink a little bit, but I don't think it's gonna disappear. I think it's something that's gonna stay.
Yeah, it'll just be. I mean, anything that grows needs to be pruned. You know,
Yeah, exactly.
It's just part of the natural process of things.
Yeah.
And I'm with you.
But also the run clubs, I think I have a difficult relationship with run clubs. I have this idea of like, I don't like belonging to one. It feels weird. It's like they should be open. So sometimes they're like run clubs that you have to apply to be there.
Yeah, it's
I think
weird.
those things are the ones that probably will not. I mean, probably will last. I don't know, but
Wait, are there really run clubs you have to apply to? There might be ones that I'm not aware of in the US.
I know a couple. I know a couple here in Europe that there's one that you even have to pay. You get really cool stuff though.
Okay.
But
I
you
think
have to
that
pay.
defeats the whole purpose, the democratic nature of a run club. If you
Exactly.
want to buy a kit or whatever, that's cool, but I don't think it should be a requirement.
Yeah, yeah. They also have a space, like a cool space. So I think that's why. I mean, I'm not defending that, but
Who's the brand? Who's the Berlin brand that? And I think it is a run club that was doing like a bunch of stuff with Adidas while we were in Berlin.
I
What
think
are
there's.
what's the big Berlin run crew?
I mean, there's different ones. We have
Okay.
the Berlin Braves, which usually they actually had a
Right.
collaboration with Bandit during that.
Bandit. Yeah.
Yeah. But there's also
another one.
There's a one called BPM, which is big. They did work with New Balance at that time.
Or maybe it was a store. Is it a store? Is there a store in?
I will tell
Berlin
you
that
the
was-
next two. Then there's one called
Okay.
Optimistic Runners, which is Optimistic Runners is a brand.
I think
also
that's the
have
one I was thinking of.
Yeah, they have a magazine and a run club. So I think it's. But no, none of them charge you to run. with
Okay.
it.
Okay. Gotcha. One other brand I did want to mention. I meant to mention this when we were talking about the price of brands and everything like that. But have you tried any of the Myler running stuff
Is it the brand from New York, right?
from New York City? Yeah.
Not really. I think now that I think about it, they released like a blue collection recently.
They did. That's what triggered it for me. Because they did come out with a light blue type collection. I am a huge fan of their stuff. I think for what they do, I don't think they have private backing. I think he did used to work on Wall Street, I will say it is funny.
It's
it is
two guys,
wild
right?
how
I think it's two people, the owners of the phone.
Right,
Just
right.
one.
I think it's one main one, but it might be two total. But anyways, it is, first off, it's funny how many New York brands or people come from private equity or Wall Street or VC type stuff, and then they get burnt out on it and then quit and then start their own running brands. I think that's how I think that's how Bandit got started as well. But it seems to be a common theme. But I will say, so Myler, all their stuff is made in New York City. It's priced pretty much the same as Bandit, or it's cheaper than Satisfy. I think some of their stuff is very similar to Satisfy, like the R Lite. And they just have a few core pieces.
Yeah.
I think some of their stuff is the best stuff that you can buy.
I saw the latest collection that they released, and I thought it was really cool. I think the problem
nice.
sometimes is that, and I think that's sort of also good for Believing the Run, is I'm in Europe, so I sort of like consume more European brands.
Right,
because it's really expensive sometimes to bring stuff, and there's not that many retailers. So, for example, for me to get Bandit, it's like a pain. I have to order it online.
I think it's a pain for anyone because they're always sold out of all their stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know if they purposely do the scarcity model or if it's just how it is, but it's,
But I think when it's like a smaller brand from the US, it's usually harder to test it. If it's like Tracksmith, they have like a distribution channel here in Europe anyway, so it's easy, and it's a little bit more expensive, but not that much. So
yeah. But anyways, yeah, I'm interested to see what the next year of running is going to be like. I mean, it's changed so much in the last 5 years, or yes, what the next 5 years will be like. I think you're right. There's going to be a lot of brands that try to start up, and then it reminds me of and it's totally different, but here in America, we had the microbrewery craze with IPAs and everything else, double IPAs, doubles of the Barracuda, all kinds of stuff that was in their early 2010s, and then so many of those microbreweries just folded over, and it's because when they came in, it was a gold rush. It was like, oh, everybody, you can just fire up a couple of kegs, a couple kegs of your home recipe, and you got a brewery.
Isn't the same with like hot sauce now? Because I really don't get that. Like I mean, yeah, 100 brands of hot sauce, like super niche.
Yeah, if you go to the
where do you put the hot sauce anyway?
I'm a big fan of hot sauce. So
I know that's what I'm asking. Where do you put it?
20 bottles. I put it. I mean, kind of everything. Like you could do, like obviously chicken or eggs or pizza. I don't know. Kind of.
That makes sense. Those are like logic choices. But
but
like I was talking about it the other day because I was like, I am from Mexico, right? And I don't have many. I don't have that many hot sauces.
Did you just have Cholula, and then like a couple other ones or something?
Like we have like these like green salsa and those type of things. That's what we put on things. And we have one called Valentina, which is like a Mexican staple, and we put that on like all the things that you said. It's basically a hot sauce that we put in.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
So, but that's it. That's how many hot sauces I have.
Okay, let me ask you a question, because this happened to me the other day when I walked into the taco shop down the street. So I took 3 years of Spanish in high school, so I have a relative, like I can talk a little bit, like speak a little bit of Spanish. It's not great, but it's like if I had to, I've lost my cell phone in a taxi in Mexico before, and I got it back. I'll say that. So I knew enough to figure out how to.
You also pronounce my last name properly. Like no one.
I know that J is an H sound.
Yeah.
And so when I was ordering tacos, I asked for, I wanted salsa, but like red, so like roja, like red salsa.
Correct, yeah.
Which in my mind would just be salsa, right? So like a lot of places have chips and salsa.
Yeah.
So, but like I guess they didn't have regular salsa. So what she gave me was a huge thing of the sauce you put on tacos, like the orange sauce that you put on. There's like the green sauce and then the orange sauce for tacos. Yeah. So she gave me a big thing of the orange sauce, and I was like, there's been a misunderstanding.
I think she might be correct.
Okay.
Because when you say salsa, do you mean the one with like raw tomato and onions and things like that?
Right. Cebolla, like onions and everything else.
But it's more like raw, right? It's not like smashed into a liquid. It's more like
So chopped. What should I ask? So what should I ask for in that situation?
That's the thing. Like in the US, salsa is that thing that you're asking for. That's that mix. But that mix in Mexico has a different name. So which is pico de gallo.
Oh, right. Yeah.
It was very similar to that, right? So that's the thing. And if you ask for salsa roja, usually is the thing that she gave you. But I think she was just trying to be annoying to you, because if you live in the US, you clearly know that when someone says,
but it's a very
well, maybe because you say roja. If you didn't say roja, if you only say salsa, then you're correct.
Okay.
But then
she did ask me. She kind of did ask me, like, because she said, salsa verde, and I was like, no, and the other, and then what happened was, so they don't actually have that salsa. They don't sell it.
Actually, you were not at a Mexican place.
Yeah, well, it's like it's just a small, like it's just a to-go, like they only do to-go, And so, but then she had some underneath in the cooler that they had made.
And why you didn't point at it? You'd be like, no, I want that.
Yeah, I couldn't see it. I didn't see it. She asked somebody in the back, and they said, "Oh, there's like one." They had like one container, and so that she ended up giving that to me. But it was all a very confusing experience because I was like, because yeah, in my mind I was asking for the right thing, and then instead I got the hot, the hot sauce, the hot orange sauce that you put on tacos, which is delicious. I just didn't want a whole huge container of it.
Yeah. But I mean, I think she was right.
Yeah. Okay. All right. That's good to know, though. next time we'll just show a picture on my phone.
Yeah. You'll be like, give me some of this.
But where we are in Fells Point here in Baltimore, man, I hope sometime you can come over and visit. It is actually a great place. There's a lot of great taco places around here. So.
Yeah, I think in the U.S. there's a lot of it's because there's a bunch of us. So.
It's a good, healthy population of Mexican restaurants here. Yeah, so it's great. So there, man, that'd be. And dude, I love a good torta too, man. Like there's a place down the street. I want to take a nap afterwards every time, but they're so good.
You definitely. I envy you. Like here in Berlin, there's a couple of places. There's a couple of places that are good. But
yeah, so what do you do? That's got to be somewhat disappointing, I guess, being in Berlin and having none of your culture there.
For example, tortas, no, non-existent.
Oh, doesn't exist?
No, there's not even a way. I have to do them myself, and even the bread is not the right one. About tacos, it's a funny story. Like the guy that makes the best tacos in Berlin, he used to have a barbecue place. He's German. He used to have a barbecue place and do brisket tacos. And that's how I met him. And then he started being friends with a woman that was from Mexico. And then he started making tacos. But because he had this knowledge of barbecue and meat,
right.
He made the best tacos to the point that in Mexico, in the news, he was there. And he never visited Mexico when he did that.
No way.
He was just like following a recipe, and he did it so good. And at some point, he made money, and he went to Mexico and learned. And now he opened a second spot, and he makes the best tacos here. It was funny that it's a German guy who started it.
That's so interesting. I always love that because sometimes I think it's a good thing. You have that ignorance you have an idea of what it's supposed to be like, but you don't have the rules in place yet.
Yeah.
So you can kind of do your own thing, and sometimes it works out.
Yeah, and he had friends that sort of knew where he should go,
and they could tell him what.
I remember before he opened the Mexican restaurant, he invited me to taste it, and there was a bunch of people from food blogs and stuff like that, and they were asking me, "Are you in the food industry?" And I was like, "No, but I'm Mexican, so I have the perfect opinion about this."
Right. I mean, you're basically the Berlin expert on tacos by default.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I would say so. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. Well, yeah. If you make it here, you'll have to tell me, and then we can get proper salsa or not, or pico de gallo.
For sure. I mean, that's the other thing. Like, I needed to come back from my trip because actually this morning I went to my interview for my US visa because it was expired. So I had to go do my interview, which went well. So that means I could go visit.
Good. You haven't committed any felonies while in Berlin?
No, at all. I think for them, when you're a Mexican in Germany, they're probably more likely to be like, I don't think this guy wants to go live in the US.
Yeah.
But yeah, it went well.
Cool. Well, dude, it was good talking to you. I guess this is probably long enough that people don't want to hear about run culture anymore.
They're probably tired of it. But don't worry, you just have to wait one more month to see it all over again. But I think the stuff from Paris will be up soon, which will be a mix of Paris and the monthly recap. Will be
probably by the time this comes out. Honestly,
probably will be already out. So if you already read what I'm saying, it's fine.
Yeah. There's still a lot more in the podcast that you need to know.
Yeah. It's easier to explain here.
Yeah. So, well, all right. Thanks for, it was great talking to you for only an hour. I feel like we could
Yeah.
talk about this stuff forever, but well, yeah, we'll have to have you back on maybe in 6 months, see if
Yeah.
anything's changed, see what else
Exactly.
is new. That would be good.
I think maybe next one you also should come. Like some people from Believe in the Run should come here.
Oh, I like that.
To do
come back
something.
to Berlin, a Berlin
It's
reunion.
Berlin or like go to Paris. Everyone keeps asking me about you, like all of you. Everywhere I go is like, oh yeah. How's Robbe? I was like, I think he's good. He's all right. Probably not the
I like
same as you.
That's very kind. That's cool. No, I would love to. That'd be great. I mean, Meg was just there.
I thought I would bump into her because I kept seeing people that were part of the Nike thing because they were.
Because you were there at
wearing
the same time. Yeah,
I was there at the same time, and when I went to Brooks, someone from there told me that she said I actually just spoke to Meg and she might be coming. I was like,
wow.
cool. And then I saw people running with like the orange. What shoe was it? The Vomero, I think, was the one.
Oh the Vomero Premium. Yeah.
Yeah. So there was a
or
bunch
Vomero
of people running with the Vomero, and I think I saw where the Nike place was because there was a lot of people with Nike bags. But yeah, I was thinking that if I see her, should I go say hi?
Yeah.
Should I be like, hey, I'm Alfredo. How's it going?
I write for you. I work for you.
Yeah.
You write my checks.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's like, hey, I'm going to send you an invoice next week.
Yeah. That's awesome. Man, I forgot. I wanted to get into the trend of like lifestyle looks coming into running shoes, which Nike seems to just be going all in on with all three of their silos. I can't tell if the Vomero, Structure, and Pegasus are even running shoes at this point. But I guess that's something maybe we could talk about next time. I don't know.
We'll talk about next time. I'll make I'll pay attention and do my investigation. But I think that's good. That's another thing. Like, I think it's good that running shoes started to become more lifestyle looking also.
Oh yeah.
Because it's again, and it has to be options, right? So if someone wants to run in like a bright yellow shoe, that's fine. But I want maybe something more toned down, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's.
And it'll all come back around too eventually.
Exactly. I mean, you saw, I think Minted New York were the ones that did the blue shoe that everyone was shocked that they did a Saucony
Right. The
blue
Saucony,
shoe. Yeah, it looks like very retro. So I think when you go one way, someone's going to try to do the opposite. Yeah. So.
Yeah,
we'll
and
see.
I'm interested to see if even. It's interesting to see Nike going to the very, very high stack shoes because I feel like this is the end. I feel like we reached the peak of the high stack max cushion. I think it's gonna come back to like slim down versions, which by the way is something that very cool that I thought Tracksmith did with the Elliott Racer, is that it's a high stack shoe, but the way that they designed it and painted it, not painted it, but they had that drop in midsole.
Yeah.
So it looks like a low stack shoe,
But it's kind of
because
like
you can't see half the midsole. It's inside the shoe,
Yeah.
which I thought was a cool design
I
choice.
mean, it's also cool for me because I really like high stack shoes because I'm sort of like a petite person. I'm not too.
I feel you.
too
Yeah.
big, so a little bit of extra is always fine.
I may have worn my Alpha Fly to a concert before just to get an extra half inch of head
I don't go that
space.
far. I don't go that far. But
Dude, it was awesome.
I
Well,
will do it next time.
if you wear the Vomero, the Vomero Premium is 55 centimeters, which is 2.2 inches. So you're getting, that's significant.
Well,
you know?
I do wear the more B4 from New Balance, which also is kind of chunky.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's up there.
Yeah.
That's cool. All right, man. Well, it was good talking to you. I'm sure we'll catch
Same.
up soon.
Yeah.
But
Let's catch
thanks
up next
for-
time.
Thanks for keeping us somewhat relevant in the running space.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you for
All
inviting
right,
me.
man.
Give a good stretch, got my laces tied. My trusty podcast by my side. If you wanna talk